Back from our phone issues, we do have Dorothy Breininger with us. Good morning, Dorothy.
Hey, Bulldog, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
Well, you're very organized. I know that.
Yes.
So it must have been like really frustrating when we couldn't call you on time because we had a phone problem.
Well, I admit I did call in and check and see how things were going.
I know. And it's like, of all people, why couldn't it be one of our, other guests who is not so organized?
Oh, I tell you what, there was one time I wrote a book called Time Efficiency Makeover, and shortly after the book came out, I missed my own flight, and I had to laugh when I checked in. It happens.
Well, you're good. At least you said that, but it happened to you once in your whole life. How did you become so organized? Was this something you were brought up with, or did you find it?
Yeah. So our mothers are listening, right? And so I have to give all credit to my mother.
Okay.
But I honestly think, for some of us, we have the frontal lobe. Some of us have this organizing wiring a little bit more so than others. That's one thing. And then two, I come from a very organized household.
Okay, so you were destined to be organized from the start. There was no
and
question.
I was a gymnast too, and I think that repetition and doing and going for perfection has a little bit to do with it too.
Okay, that makes sense. So how do you explain the three of us slobs and unorganized messes in here, and maybe a couple others out there listening?
Riddle me that.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm not going to call you an organized slob or a slob or anything like that. We have people who are right brain and who are left brain. My right brain people are far more creative, and they need the chaos in order to be inspired to do their work. How's that?
That's us, right brainers, 100%. But see, and I think I am one of those right brain people. I'm pretty sure I am. But when my desk and my surroundings are much more organized, I'm much more productive as well.
Exactly.
So
I think we go through patterns, and some of us just need to organize every day because we're really OCD, and we have to. We need that feeling of control. Other people can get organized once a week, some people once a month, and then we have, the folks that I do on the show Hoarders, where it kind of is never.
Okay. Now are these, let's talk about Hoarders. I've seen the show many, many a times. What are these people? Because you're talking extremes, like way extremes.
Yeah.
So how do you explain those folks? Because we have a listener, actually, he's probably listening now. His name's Chuck, who is a hoarder.
He needs help.
Yeah.
The first thing I have to do is give Chuck a hug, tell him he's okay, and if he wants some help, I'll be there in a flash.
Yeah, give him a hug. He smells bad, too. So. Sorry, Chuck.
Usually folks who collect and have excess clutter, they usually don't want my help. It's usually a situation where it has, they're at the brink. They're either being evicted from their homes, kids are being taken out by Child Protective Services, they're losing their jobs. It's a big deal, and that's where we come in on the show to help these folks out, but it's scary.
Hey, now what do some of the, I was joking about Chuck smelling, but those places have got to smell awful.
They are. That's why we don't call it smell-o-vision, right? I like to wear dresses during the day because on the show I'm only in a hazmat suit and, some sort of a breathing mechanism around my face.
Man, but how do those people live in those situations, those circumstances?
It's fine. They like it that way. And really, it's sort of like isolating. Folks who tend to hoard are people who want to be away from people, relationships, activities. And that big hoard kind of insulates them, and it feels good. Don't touch my stuff.
Yeah, and then when you come in and organize them and get rid of all that stuff, you just mess them all up, don't you?
I do. I mess them up. But the good thing about the show is that they get ongoing free therapy and ongoing free organizing after we leave. So we leave them in good shape.
How does somebody get to that point? It's one little thing, one pizza box after pizza box after pizza box. How does it go a month and you don't want to go?
I got news for you. It's a good thing Nancy's coming home Friday because you need to see my kitchen right now. I walked in and I was going, my God, how did all this get there in such a short period of time? It's like, really?
I do like finding out the backstory in the Hoarders where they say they give you continuous free help. unlike Extreme Home Makeover, they come fix your stuff real nice, then they stick you with a big property bill and leave you for the fend for yourself. You guys go back and give these people continuous help. That's pretty cool.
It is. If they accept it, though, not everybody wants it because there's nothing wrong, see? Yeah.
Yeah, the old there's nothing wrong. Hey, listen, we could talk about that. I want to talk about your book, too. Stuff Your Face or Face Your Stuff. I want to talk about that as well. So what is tell me about the book.
Well, I was on the Hoarders show, actually, filming on season 3 on an episode, and here I was talking to this woman about all this excess clutter in her home, and as I was asking her the questions, are you a perfectionist, do you yearn for years gone by and in all those good experiences, and I started answering the questions myself. I was 200 pounds overweight. No, not 200 pounds overweight, but I was 200 pounds. And I was, miserable, and I answered those questions. So while she was hoarding stuff in her home, I realized I was hoarding sugar and flour, calories on my body. And I saw the exact same thing as I did in my clients. So I wrote a book about it. I lost 75 pounds, and I realized there's a lot about decluttering your body as there is to decluttering your home, office, or space.
So you never had that correlation till then, huh?
No, first-hand experience makes sense to me now.
So what was the first step? What did you do? What 75 pounds? That's a pretty impressive amount of weight to lose.
Yeah, well, what I did is what I ask my hoarding clients to do. It's what, someone who drinks too much, someone who gambles too much, someone who hoards too much, they go to a 12-step program.
Okay.
Guess who? I did too. Can't stop eating, one more cookie, can't stop drinking, one more, that's how it was for me. And that's how I lost the weight.
So just little by little baby steps.
Little by little.
Okay.
And the great part about the book, Stuff Your Face or Face Your Stuff, is I come at weight loss by saying, okay, you don't necessarily want me to take away your chocolate chip cookies right now. Let's go get organized in another part of your house. And by getting motivated and by hanging up your clothes and returning all the calls that are stuck in your cell phone and by paying and opening your bills, you might just get the motivation to start losing weight. The motivation just breeds, and it's fantastic.
So let's go to you because you were already organized.
Yeah.
So what did you do? What was your step? Because you didn't have to go do all that other stuff.
I didn't, but, I was working with other people and was writing the book and saw this correlation and saw all of this in my clients. So I went out to my clients, those who had way too much stuff, and I asked them the question, do you also have weight issues? And they started saying, yeah, I do. I've got a lot of clutter and I have a lot of weight on my body. What's that about, Dorothy? And we started to find that these folks are not lazy. It's just the more you eat, less motivated you are. And, you come home, you've been on sugar all day long, and you come home and you're just like, oh, you're so tired, and not, you go to sleep and you take a nap, and then you're up at 10:30. What am I going to do? You watch too much TV, then you are late going to bed, then you wake up late, then you get to work late, and you decide to buy donuts on the way to work to make everybody happy and not feel so guilty, but you eat them on the way.
What are you doing?
Oh, my gosh.
Following us around? You just described all of us here.
Yeah.
You're a stalker, Dorothy. You've been following us. Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense what you're saying.
Yeah, so the book covers things like getting enough sleep, organizing your finances, organizing and getting out of toxic relationships, all the things that might occur, and doing all that first, organizing your life's priorities so that you can get rid of all the stuff that's in your head that allows you to overeat.
Well, if anybody couldn't have said it any better myself, and yeah, that's perfect. So where do we go to get Stuff Your Face or Face Your Stuff? Do we go to DorothyTheOrganizer.com or Amazon or where should we go?
You got it. You hit number 1, number 2. Those are the places right away. Absolutely.
Okay, DorothyTheOrganizer.com, Amazon, of course, and you could find Stuff Your Face or Face Your Stuff right there. Now, I appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule. I know it is very busy and organized though. Oh. Like she probably had extra time in there for us just in case we screwed up we did, right? Yeah.
She did her homework. She knew who she was dealing with.
Yeah. She goes, yes, well, I can't really book anything till 9 because these jerks will probably screw up my 8:40. I could see her.
Hey, 5:40 to you. I'm in California, folks.
Oh, well, sure, you have nothing to do. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. It was like no big deal. You just had
Your
to
ass
get
on a
up.
bed and do something.
He is the most wide awake Californian we've ever talked to.
You know what? You were. That's true. That's a good point. In all the years, we've never spoken with anybody at that hour more wide awake. Usually the first thing they say to us is, "Oh, it's really early here."
Oh, no, I've been spinning the labels on my spices all morning. I know, they're all facing forward.
You know, it's like one of those sleeping with the enemy things now. She's way too early.
I've been drinking coffee since 2 a.m.
All right, well, listen, Dorothy, go back to your spice rack. Dorothy
Okay.
Breininger, again, thank you so much, and good luck with all of this. Thanks,
Big hugs to you both. Thanks for having me.